Do we want to do these audience topics? So we're going to do a quick fire. And we're going to just, basically we ask for topics from people online. I like it. We've got some topics.
I'm excited.
We're going to try not to spend 15-20 minutes on each topic.
So keep you under control.
Rambling on today.
No, I just know some of these topics I could spend. So this is more of a get our initial feelings out and then move on.
Okay. I'll keep you in check because you can
So Jen, you can, there's like, Sophia's going to say one.
Yeah.
You say your immediate first thought that comes to your mind.
Yeah.
And then me and Sally will carry on after that.
Okay. Just saying, I'm just going to read them. So
basically what Sophia's reading is what people have written. So it's not, some of them aren't phrased. Yeah, prompts. They're not phrased as a question. They're just what people have responded to the question.
The first one is, first one. Why are events always announced last minute?
Probably because people are doing a million different things at the same time and they don't really think of a marketing strategy. They just release the information.
That was very accurate. I think we're almost done on that. But yes,
Next.
Because event organizers in the battle scene, especially, which is what I think they were referring to, but also in the dance scene, are not event organizers. They're just people who are putting on events.
What's last minute?
I'm going to say 3 weeks in advance is too late. Or 3 weeks in advance. I think what the people that I was speaking to online that agreed with this, and also the people that wrote it and stuff, it's about if you're trying to get together a dance school to bring to, and if we're talking about bringing money and more people into the battle scene especially, it's if we're trying to fill out these events, it's the more people can book in advance. If you have to get babysitters, if you have to inform parents, if you have to send letters home, if you have to, even as a grown adult, it's I've got work, man. And it's I've got, if there's some events that I will turn down work to be at, but I need to know that they're happening to do that, because once I've accepted work, I can't then say now I'm not coming. You have to get me before the work. So I think you do need a marketing strategy, and you do need to implement it from a certain amount of time. I personally would start your marketing, put it this way, when we did events at uni, you have this it's relatively simple for anyone that's done it, but I've shown it to a few people that they were oh, that's cool. But it's you think of it as Lego blocks, right? And it's this is the date of your event happening, and you go weeks, this is 0, right? Then you go week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, all the way out to, let's say, to week 12 or whatever it is. And this can be for every part of your event, but just for marketing, right? So you say 12 weeks or whatever, and then you say this is what's going to happen in each week, and you put a little block in, right? So it's from week 12 you need to let's say get flyers printed or whatever. So then in week 13 you need to have designed the flyers. Week 12 you need to print them. Week 11 they start going out, and then the block continues from week 11 all the way to week 0. So you're giving out flyers there. Or when does the social media market, and when do these, so you have a whole strategy building up from when you need it to come out. And I think what a lot of people do is just get it out as and when they can. And a lot of times it is because they're waiting for answers from a venue or waiting for answers for this. But it's this is kind of what makes events hard. Is even if you can pull an event together last minute, what then suffers is if and it's a big if the quality of your event doesn't suffer from being last minute, the marketing does. And then it's either
it affects your audience.
It affects your audience, and it also affects our experience, because we're already pissed walking into the event because we've had to cancel things. We're showing up late because we had other work. And it's if I had known this was happening 3 months in advance, I would have booked time off. I would have done this. You know what I mean? And then there's people that miss out on stuff. And it's and then if you miss out on it, you're not inclined to come back the next time. It's you know what I mean? Because it affects a lot of different stuff. For me, I'm really into marketing and branding and stuff. So I think it's a really big, important thing. And it was a whole thing in uni when we did I did events management degree, and it's it was a whole module is the marketing and strategies and all that. So yeah, I think it's a big part of it that people are missing out on, and that's my thoughts.
And also it's in order to have marketing, it means you need to have the answers to all the questions, who's your DJ, who's your judge, who's what the event runs from, what what is the sign up time, what time do people have to be there. And I think sometimes it's all those things need to be figured out way in advance. And I think sometimes people leave some of these elements for last minute, and so it means you can't really release all the information. So,
and just a quick tip for people, tell me if you guys disagree. A lot of people, if you're going for funding somehow with your event, people wait to get the answer for the funding, then they contact and book their DJ. Sometimes the funding comes in last minute or whatever. I would advise book your staff and get them to pencil in the thing based on the assumption that you're going to get funding, then notify your staff if it is or isn't happening.
Yeah.
So reverse it. So say, I would like you, Sophia, to come and film my event on the 3rd of April.
Subject to funding.
Yeah, it will be a £300 fee or whatever. Can you pencil it in for me? I will let you know by January if it's happening in April. Funding answer comes in, I didn't get it, sorry, we're going to have to release your pencil or whatever it is. Or yes, it's definitely confirmed. That's better than it getting to January. You've got an event in April and now you start looking for a DJ. Or a videographer in your case. I would do it that way around.
Yeah, or I would even argue be like, I'd like to make an event next year. Let me apply for funding now.
A year, do everything early, not the funding comes in 3 weeks before the event. That'll be all right.
Yeah, because that puts you in a shit situation if you don't get it. But
it does take as someone who considers themselves to be quite organized, however organized you might think you are, you have to just be so many more steps ahead than you think. And especially if you don't have a team, and it's not even staff, but just people, where you're having round table, talks about this stuff. I can see it's how things are not missed, but how it gets to be as last minute as it does sometimes. I see how it happens.
Yeah, even with Pax, when she was here, we had this joke, she was with me when we were producing the show, and we said everything is 10x. Nothing is just as straightforward as doing the thing. The majority of the things are going to take 10 more steps than what you anticipated to get there.
Hire a DJ is
it's not just calling the person and then there's just always things that are going to happen that are going to make the task 10 times more complicated than you initially thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And when you're doing something planning an event, you're dealing with so many different stakeholders or players. It's the venue, your staff, your DJ, your volunteers, the people signing up, if there's another event, So it's juggling all those things make it that you have a lot of 10x's that you're gonna have to deal with.
That's a good piece of advice.
So it was funny when I was struggling with this project, and we would just look at each other and be like, "That's a 10x. This is a 10x."
Yeah.
Next topic.
Let's go. Next topic. Hit it, and you do your reaction.
Tips for marketing. Oh my god!
What?
Sorry, I'm gonna rewind.
Yeah.
Tips for marketing yourself as a dancer on social media.
Oh, I'm the worst person to ask for this.
That is true.
Yeah.
Same. You're the best, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
immediate reaction. Immediate reaction.
Play the game. That's my immediate reaction. Play the game. Stop being too proud to do what you need to do.
Oh well.
Depending on what your desired outcome is.
Well, that's why I say to do what you need to do. I wouldn't if what you need to do is go viral on social media. Play the game. If what you need to do is sell tickets to an event, play the game. If you need to start getting hired as something, play the game. It's
figure out the game and play.
It's not the game of social media, although that is
look around and find out.
Yeah, that is a game, but it's
I swear now.
I know people that will be I really want to, be a professional dancer. No, well,
back in the day.
Maybe.
Not
Yeah,
anymore.
it's I really want to be a professional dancer, but it's well then upload a video every week of you dancing so that people can say, oh well no, I don't like this. It's oh well then
That was me.
It's social media is a
game.
It's a game, but it can also just be a billboard. I know people, I'm making a living off my art, and almost only marketing I do is social media. So are you, and the only thing you do is social media, and you don't really play the social media game. But I would say you play the game in the sense of you show people what you want them to see, right? It's if you've got a class coming up, you might reshare Orion's belt. You might be this, and then you tag people who are in the room, and then you write a little something from your heart, which is what your audience connects to. It's people that like your from the heart thing. So if you say, reteaching Orion's bell, this was such a special moment, I'm so happy that blah blah blah, excited to be sharing it. It's I know you mean that, but it was a conscious decision for you to share what you feel, and that's for me is playing the game. It's you are you're speaking to your audience, and I think you're very good at it, and that's why you also don't feel an urge to go viral or do any of the fucking trends and stuff, because you're I know who my audience are and I'll get them in the room if I need them there. But it's not you don't just wake up one morning, walk to the studio, and they're just there. It's you do things to get them in the room,
Yeah. But I will say, for those that might be similarly inclined with that is word of mouth does still matter. And like, if you talk to the people that do resonate with you, they will that will have a ripple effect. So I think finding like your language, like literally and otherwise, just like what works for you and gets a reception for you, like instead of shape shifting and constantly like trying like code shifting different ways to talk to people, it's like find out the way that you do communicate there, and like when it works, like it will ripple out in real life, and not just
people will translate it. So it's like your way of speaking and being might speak to me, but let's say it doesn't to Jen and Jen doesn't know you. If I want Jen to join your workshop, I will translate it for you. I'll be like, this is what Tally's thing is all about. Like in like when we got like when we came to your workshop, and Lee, Jen, no, you hadn't been before. It was just me that had been the first time.
When I came with Monster and Packs.
Yeah, but it's like Monster, Packs and Lee. But it's like I was speaking to them, to poppers, being like, here's what you'll get from this thing. But you wouldn't have spoke to them in the same way. But it's, you know, people do that.
But I think to get back to the question, it's like, I think an important thing is to like establish what your goal is, because it's like to promote yourself with social media. It's like, you know, Tally, for example, is promoting herself, but she's promoting her class, like, or I. So it's like funneling the audience to that. So I think, you know, if it's just for you to have visibility, then it's like play that game of like just putting yourself out there. Or if it's to redirect your audience to go somewhere, or like to an event, or
it's you have to have a strategy. Like whatever that strategy is, you have to have a strategy. And if you don't have a goal, the strategy is nothing. I know people that are like being like, oh, go and like and share this post, and I want this post to get to 300 likes, and it's like,
why?
Then what?
For what? Like, and it's also, they don't work in dance. They're not freelancers. They're not. It's like you have a day job. So what? Me as your audience, I'm unclear what you want 300 likes for. Like 300 likes, and I'll drop my next video, and I'm like, don't
take
drop
time.
it or don't drop it. Like it's up to you. Like
couldn't care less.
So I think it's like you have to have a goal and have a strategy and have a reason why you're posting what you're posting. And it's like, for me, it's kind of like a billboard, like on the side of the highway or something, like back in the day. It's like, what do you want people to see? And it's like, if, you know, especially if you're someone like me that does different things, and it's like, right, if I'm only ever posting me dancing on my Instagram, people are going to stop hiring me as a videographer. If I only post video, people are going to hire me as a photographer. So my job is to vary what I'm posting, even if sometimes those likes, like some of the things that I've got them, and this is so important, some of the things that I've got the most paid for or hired for got the least likes on my Instagram, because it's two different games. If I was playing the go viral game, I would care that a picture I put up with like some squiggly lines on it got 30 likes, right? But that picture got me 4 jobs doing graphic design that I don't even fucking do, but they just wanted lines on their poster for a tour. So I'm like, I got paid for that off something that got me 30 likes. But if I conflate those and I go, oh, I only got 30 likes, let me take that down, the person that saw that and goes, oh, I like that design, can you do that for my theatre company, wouldn't have contacted me. Or a certain type of edit, or a lot of the stuff that I do just playing around and throw up and doesn't get many likes, people will then contact me and hire me for. And that's the stuff you don't see, but that's the stuff that's paying my rent. So it's like, what's your goal? My goal is to work as an artist and pay my rent off these things, not to go viral on social media. If it was, I'd play a very different game. And yes, I want my videos to have reach, but only because the more people that see them, the more chance there is of me getting hired to do those things, which therefore puts a limit on the reach that I care about. I only care about people within my community, in positions of power, with money, kind of seeing my stuff, and I want to get it out to them. Do I care about like 5,000 people in India clicking like on my thing and going, oh, you're so beautiful? No, not really. I don't give a shit. Like, because those numbers don't really do anything for me. You know, it's like, okay, this post got, like, me and Fee did a collab
that
thing.
went a bit mad, didn't it?
Yeah, I got like, I don't know, 20,000-30,000 views on the reels and loads of like, and it's like, did I get shit out of that? No, literally nothing. But then there's other posts, like I said, literally 30 likes and I get like reoccurring jobs from it. So it's, you have to know what your thing is, and then you can judge whether it's working or not. Because if you're getting 30 likes a post, but you're getting paid off every time you post a new idea, someone's hiring you, it's working. Like, chill, it's fine. And as if you're, you know, going viral or whatever the thing is that you want to do. If you're going viral every post or whatever, then fine. But
or you can be like me and just post a lot of memes.
Yeah, I'm sure your engagement is tanking.
Smashing it right now.
Yeah, I'm on point. Next question.
Go, hit
Yes.
it. Thank you.
Get it.
Loyalty to cruise.
Loyalty to your cruise.
Loyalty to cruise. Do you have any?
I mean-
I was not loyal.
Oh,
you were bouncing
I was a
around, bouncing
floater.
around, bouncing.
Yeah, I wasn't the only one at that time. I think there would. I realized, like, I started when I was 15, I think, and even then was just aware that I wasn't going to get everything that I wanted out of one place, and because there wasn't a class culture the way that there is now, really.
Yeah.
You had Huskies and you had Pineapple, and if you were a street dancer, you weren't going to Pineapple.
Yeah.
Really. So you were joining crews to get your training, and I just floated around, and I'd lost opportunities, or like I couldn't do certain shows if you weren't just with one crew and all that jazz. But my priority was like, I want to be in the spaces and like learning the experience. And I speak to people about it now that are floaters in their crews and companies, and I get the spirit of, you know, riding hard, but I think it's really easy to lose a sense of perspective on what is being lost potentially as a result. And that's not even just about opportunity, but like a sense of identity for yourself. Like, and that might not be important to everyone. It might just be about community and like representing a certain space and place and person. But I just, in my opinion, there are more cons than pros to being exclusive to one crew. If we're talking dance company and you're on a yearly salary and stuff, then different. But like crew.
But I think also it's like, okay, are you loyal to your crew, but also it's like, is your crew loyal to you? And by that I mean like loyalty has different definitions for different people, but for me it's like loyalty is about having somebody's back, you know, and it's like if you need to go do something or, you know, learn with other people and whatnot, like I feel like a crew that is, you know, the way I see it, it's kind of like a family or like a unit of people that have each other's back. Then it wouldn't be like, oh no, if you go dance with these people, if you go take that class, or if you go train there, then you can't be with, like, for me there's something a bit weird about that. Like then, you know, by the same token, it's like, all right, would you go train with somebody who like punched your friend in the face, like punch your best friend in the face and be all buddies with them? Like I think that
There's
kind
two
of goes
sides.
beyond like the dance level and more into a human thing. But you know, I feel like there's different perceptions also of the word of what a crew is.
I think in the battle scene, I think it's slightly different because the culture of crews is different. It was originally supposed to be about like a family and like a really close-knit a bunch of people, regardless of like whether you dance together or not. It's like still your people. And I think there's also an element of the competition. So it's like if you go and dance with that crew and me, it's like if we're entering a battle, it's like whoever you join has more of a chance of winning. So it's like I think there is something to do with that, but it's like I think, and also I guess like there's like a lot rides on your originality and stuff. So if we're training together and I'm exchanging ideas with you and then you go and use that for them, I don't know, there's something that I think for me in terms of like crews in general is like if you care about someone, you want them to fly. So if you're in any way like holding back people just because they signed up to be in your crew at one point, it's like that's going to make me leave your crew immediately. It's like, bye. All right, if you don't want me to go and train or do this or try that, but just I'm out then completely.
Like what's the definition of loyalty? Like you can't do anything with anybody else, or it's just like a group of people that share a set of values and that train together and do things together. And then from there, then I would say, be loyal to those people. But whether that's a crew or your family or your friends.
It's a communication thing as well, isn't it?
Yeah, just fucking communicate.
Because like you say, that means different things to different
And they might
people
one
and
person,
like you're disloyal, and it's like, oh no, but I'm here like every week, and like I wear around like stuff
T-shirt,
everywhere, and it's like, but I don't know what.
But you think about that other crew.
Yeah.
It's like
but you look at them
shared
different.
their posts.
Yeah.
Like I know we need to move on to another thing, but I was in a crew that wanted everyone in it to share whatever they made, like put the crew like logo at the beginning of all of their,
even if it wasn't
things.
within that cruise.
Yeah.
No, bye.
Yeah. So you see,
That's
this is
what I
like,
thought.
are they loyal?
Anything you post has to have the capsule on it. Any videos,
Right.
Has to have a
even if I'm not there and it's nothing to do with me.
Like in return for what?
Yeah, put me on put me on
Royalty?
salary and I'll
Maybe.
and I'll do it. Yeah.
Next question.
Next question. Battle seeding.
Okay, battle seeding.
Bye.
Someone
See you later.
super quickly, because this was a very vague question, because it wasn't a question, it just wrote the words battle seeding. For those that don't know what battle seeding is, when you pass prelims, you have a bunch of people that all qualified to be in the top 16 out of however many dancers entered. What sometimes happens is that they will organize so it then becomes a knockout thing, right? So you got different people versus different people, and then they work their way up. So I can't articulate my fingers well enough to show you. But what people will do is they will seed the battle. So that means they will put different people, depending on their level, they will put them in different places. So let's say you take the two strongest. You don't know about this?
No.
Okay.
So it's like, let's say you have the top 8. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I was in the middle, but it's fine.
Do it.
So let's say you have the top 8 now. So if you have the two strongest people, you put them on the outside of the bracket so that they are nowhere, because if they're here, they're going to battle each other in the second round. So you want them to be the furthest away.
Okay.
Then you take the next two strongest people and put them in the other battle. So it's like two strongest, second two strongest. Then you take third strongest and then the fourth strongest. And then you put them like that. So then it should be fairly weighted. And what you should have in most top 8s, if you're seeding, is everyone should be in the top 8. Top 16s, top 8 and bottom 8. So every first battle should be a top 8 versus a bottom 8. So you were in the best 8 that qualified and you were in the worst 8 that qualified. So you all qualified, but you put it like that. Now, the potential bad things is that this is, let's say some people will do it by just how well they know the dancers or like who they think is good and bad. That's not good. It should be objective, which I believe you should do it based on the prelim scores. So when judges do prelims, they write down a score of 1 to 10, sometimes like 3.5, 4.2 or whatever the fuck, right? And that's how you mark based on how they performed in their prelims. I think seeding is good and it makes the most entertaining battle, but you should do it based off people's prelim. So those two strongest should be the two highest marks in the prelim, not who you think are the best dancers. And then you should do it based on that. So it's literally just, if I battle someone super hard in the first round, it's like, and I've had this before, but it's like, oh yeah, I did a whack prelim. Like I scraped through, but I'm going against someone hard. So I'm lucky to even get through, kind of thing. So it shouldn't be unfair if you do it based on the prelim. If you do it based on your own personal opinions, then you can actually start to sway a battle and swing it in you're like, oh, that's a guy that I really like, so I'm going to give him the easiest battle first. You know what I mean? And having an easy route to the finals is really a thing. So it's like, I've won battles or I've got to the finals and it's like, I've had a really fucking easy route because the other side was like the first two battles were super the best people, then the next battle. And this is the negative side of not seeding, is like if you take someone like, it's like this final where it's like fucking Brooke versus me in the finals, and it's like, how the fuck did Luke get to the finals? And it's like, oh yeah, because he battled like one of the Teletubbies in the first round, and then, you know what I mean, and it's just like some guy that was asleep and then he got Brooke in the finals. Meanwhile, Brooke is like fighting the Terminator in the first round, you know, it's like Godzilla in the second round. So then it's like, it doesn't make sense because now Brooke has had to go through the hardest first battles I've walked through.
Yeah, but the outcome is the same.
Because it's not about that. The outcome is the same, that Brooke wins, but the outcome is not the same in the sense of
engineering
what we get
moments
to watch. Yeah, you want the most entertaining thing. Engineering moments is a strong contender for a title of the episode. But yeah, so I think it's in an entertainment way it works, and in a fairness way, because it's like if Brooke's first battle is against Hoan and then his last battle is against me, it's like I might beat him only because he's used up all of his good shit. He's tired, especially when you look at B-boys. It's like if you're throwing your best shit, your hardest rounds in the first round, and then by the time it gets to the finals, you've got nothing left. And this guy from this side is walked through. That means he's got all his shit. He's super fresh. He's going to smoke you when it's a bit of an unfair thing.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just in terms of like the hype of the event. Yeah. Like if the best moment happens right at the beginning, and then from there it kind of goes down in terms of energy and level, it's kind of like anticlimactic where you want like the hype to build, and like as the event goes, it gets better and better and better. So it's like you get this, you see the strongest people like go at each other. Yeah. So I think that in that way, #engineer moments. Next question.
Yeah, I think every battle should be seeded.
Cypher prelim etiquette.
Ooh!
I feel like we've had
this conversation.
So
I'm gonna keep it quick. No, there's one thing Cypher prelims, I fucking hate them and they stress me out, and people lose their shit and
don't know
literally
how to
as a callback act like they were born in a barn.
Were you born in a barn?
You were born in a barn. You raised in a barn. But yeah, so here's the thing. Cypher prelims are a fucking mess, and every time they're done, they're a mess, and it's an hour. It's like
I don't know if I've ever seen one. I must have, right?
You might not have seen one because you've walked out of the room when they started, because you've just gone, no.
What is this?
But like, it's the same as what we said about contact improv in an audition. Literally the same energy. It's like, you want to do this Cypher thing where the whole thing is about exchange and building and taking turns. But you're telling me the longer I stay in the middle, the more chance I have of getting through?
Yeah.
Like,
it's not a thing.
It doesn't make sense. Unless you have someone that organizes it and corrals it, which is where, as usual, I blame the event organizers, because it's like they just go, oh yeah, Cypher prelim starts now for an hour, I'm gonna go get coffee, see you later. Meanwhile, there's like 4 people in the Cypher at any one time. Everyone's just doing this crap where they kind of dance at each other, but neither of them are doing their best moves. They're just doing some weird shit. And then no one really feels good. The judge can't really pick fairly. It's just a mess. So what you really should do is, first of all, you need to set a size, because those Cypher prelims go super quick, which happens in normal Cyphers, so I could maybe let that go. But if the point is for the judge to choose fairly, sort it out, like make a line where they can't cross or something. And then I think you don't have to necessarily do time limits, but you've got to either encourage an atmosphere where people are moving in and out, or just straight up kick people out when they've been in too long. Or if 2 people jump in, this is what I hate. 2 people jump in literally at the same time, which again happens in most Cyphers. Sometimes now and then you'll have a bit of like a back and forth and people will dance together. Lovely, cool. But what doesn't work is now when the next time 4 people jump in and they all stay in the Cypher, and then they all start dancing, but they're not dancing with each other anymore. They're just dancing all in the space. Now this is not a Cypher, we're just in a nightclub. Like, we're all just dancing in our own space. So cool, fuck it, I'm not going to watch anymore. I'm just going to start doing around here. Like, what's the point of this? I would allow 2 people to exchange and go back and forth and fine. I don't think it's the best way to show yourself to get through for the judges, but okay, fine, we let that happen organically. Any more than 2 people jump in at once, stop. You get out. And something that does happen in a Cypher, if you're ciphering with normal people, is that 2 people will jump in, there'll be a little exchange and people will go back and forth. Like, let's say me and you and Sophia, we jump in and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to stay in, and maybe it's confrontational, or maybe we're dancing together. Eventually one of us should stop and let the other one carry on. So it's like, oh, a little moment. All right, you know what, go do your thing. Or screw you, and then you go, oh, all right, cool, and then I do my round. But eventually someone should get out. But Cypher prelims, people just fucking stay in the whole time. So there is etiquette in terms of, I think there's etiquette in terms of Cypher prelims. I don't think it's on the dancers, because everyone just loses their shit and does whatever they feel at the moment. I've walked out of a couple of Cypher prelims halfway through. Yeah, I've been like, I fucked the battle. I'm gonna go.
Oh, you have to?
Yeah,
it's horrible when it's horrible. Dylan did the same as well. He walked out of one because he was like, I'm not doing this.
If you're an event organizer and you want to have a Cypher prelim, think that you have to engineer the moment. Can't just let it happen.
Yeah. So yeah, this one I think needs a little bit more engineering rather than just
letting everyone,
because you're already engineering the moment by saying whoever's in there. If it was a normal Cypher, it's a normal Cypher. If you're engineering it and saying the judge is going to choose someone from this, you're already throwing something into the mix. So then fix what you've started and don't just let people kill each other. It's like fucking Hunger Games in some of these things. But
how many more do we have? I feel like we've been talking for a super long time.
How long are we on?
One more. 2 hours and 7 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Damn.
Last
that's
but
long.
not least.
No, that's normal.
Lack of house battles in the UK.
Super easy. Event organizers react to the community. The community shouldn't react to the event organizers. If there was more things happening for house, there would be battles put on, because it's people want money. And the reason popping and breaking and hip hop are in so many battles is because the demand for them is huge. There's so many. If you put on a breaking battle, loads of people are going to show up. If you put on a popping battle, loads of people are going to show up. If you put on a house battle at this current moment, you get 7 signups, and that's why they've dropped off.
It's interesting because I feel like at some point we were speaking about this, and it was like, is it still the case with locking as well?
Yeah, I think I think house and locking, but I think locking is more the style. Like, people aren't as interested in the style. I think worldwide there's a lot of people that love house and they do it.
It's just here at the moment.
I just think here at the moment there's less people, and you have like we have some of the best house dancers in the world who are from here, but it's like, if they're all out of the country, there's not a lot of other people.
Yeah.
So it's not that we have a level problem, we just have a numbers problem. Yeah. So it's like, you might put on a house battle at your thing, and the finals might be Frankie J versus Clara, and that's an international level battle. However, there won't be enough to fill the top 8 after that. So it's like, you literally need to have battles where it's like 30 plus people are signing up for prelims in order for there to be a demand for the battle. And there used to be a lot of house battles, but it's literally declined because, and I've spoken to organizers, it's like they put on a house battle, it's like, there's no one enters. They put on a house battle, no one enters. All right, eventually I'm not putting on a house battle anymore. Yeah. Like, you gotta, and this is where it's like, when we talk about supporting stuff, it's like, if you're a house dancer and you want there to be more events, when a house battle is on, you have to make, and it's a shame and it's not fair, but you have to make way more of an effort to go to those than I do as a popper. I could not go to 7 popping battles. There'll still be popping battles. If you like take a week off, or you're doing this, or you're traveling or whatever, which, you might need to do, but then you can't complain that there's no house battles, because it's like, you've got to push people into doing it.
Also, I feel like if you compare like house to hip hop and popping, for example, it's like, I feel like in the house culture there's a lot more of emphasis on like going clubbing and like like that dance existing in that space and it not being like a confrontational exchange. Whereas I feel like popping and hip hop, like
I love that. Yeah.
Like people, I feel like some house dancers that I know, like they're gonna go to a house club and just like get down all night. Like hip hop and popping dancers don't really do that as much.
It's like, you might go out clubbing, but it's very rare you go out clubbing to do hip hop or to do popping.
Yeah, to like go dance full out.
Yeah, and do rounds.
Yeah,
I feel like maybe there's also this thing of like, I don't. That's how I feel like about it since I'm here. But with house, it's more of like a group and community thing. Like, people tend to like come together and form like some kind of organization or like groups or whatever. So they organize, like those groups would organize events, but it's never like really individual. So like, if there's like 3 big groups that are formed, like they're the only one that are doing events. Whereas like with hip hop, there's a lot of like individuals that pop up, and like it's always like, it's constantly like, I
see what you mean. Yeah, so maybe like, let's say within the house, it's like, in the house are going to run an event, but then that takes away the fact that Joelle could run an event, Clara could run an event. I kind of see what you mean. Yeah. That's interesting. I think it's just like, you got to push the community in whatever way. If you want there to be more house battles, you got to push the community in whatever way you can, whether that's putting on your own nights, putting on your own jams. I guarantee you, if there's a regular house jam that happens every week and you've got 50 people packing out a dance studio and there's videos and there's footage, again, marketing yourself on social media, and we see that there's that, I guarantee you house battles or house categories will start popping up. In terms of house only events, that's a whole different thing, because that's people in the community should do that. Because at the moment, like, you might have a multi-style battle and there's like pop-in, hip-hop and blah, blah, blah. If you want to be included in those as a category, fine. House only events where it's like 4 to the Floor does it. And what's the other one? There's an Empire House.
Empire Jam. Empire.
They put on house events and it's for the house community. So first of all, fucking pack those out if you're a house dancer or you're interested in house, because that will show that we need more of them and that there's a demand for it. But it's purely demand. The more people that want to do a thing. I mean, there was fucking Dancehall 2-on-2 at Just Taboo one year.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
Dancehall is not like that type of battle style like how but there was enough people doing dancehall that just to be went, you know what?
Yes.
Let's put this on. And I'm sure they got their sign ups. So it's like
But
if there's enough people, it will happen.
One more thing is that also for popping and hip hop, I think there's also this thing with the music that it's more similar. So like if you do an event and it's like popping hip hop and then you have house, like it's so random, like it's really like.
And the house dancers don't really vibe with the other music. Whereas if I'm a hip hop dancer and I go to a popping event, I still kind of enjoy the music. Maybe I hear that.